The first right turn is find your why, your purpose and values. Let's begin by listening to this TED Talk by Sinek called Start with Why.
I call it the golden circle. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do, 100%. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done, that's how most sales is done, and that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do, we say how we're different or how we're better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers with the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? You're ready to buy a computer from me. All I did was reverse the order of the information. What it proves to us is that people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This explains why every single person in this room is perfectly comfortable buying a computer from Apple. But we're also perfectly comfortable buying an MP3 player from Apple, or a phone from Apple, or a DVR from Apple. But as I said before, Apple's just a computer company. There's nothing that distinguishes them structurally from any of their competitors. Their competitors are all equally qualified to make all of these products. In fact, they tried. A few years ago, Gateway came out with flat-screen TVs. They're eminently qualified to make flat-screen TVs. They've been making flat-screen monitors for years. Nobody bought one. And Dell came out with MP3 players and PDAs. And they make great quality products, and they can make perfectly well-designed products, and nobody bought one. In fact, talking about it now, we can't even imagine buying an MP3 player from Dell. Why would you buy an MP3 player from a computer company? But we do it every day. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. When we communicate from the outside in, yes, people can understand vast amounts of complicated information like features and benefits and facts and figures. It just doesn't drive behavior. When we communicate from the inside out, we're talking directly to the part of the brain that controls behavior, and then we allow people to rationalize it with the tangible things we say and do. This is where gut decisions come from. Sometimes you can give somebody all the facts and your figures, and they say, I know what all the facts and details say, but it just doesn't feel right. Why would we use that verb? It doesn't feel right. Because the part of the brain that controls decision-making doesn't control language. And the best we can muster up is, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Or sometimes you say you're leading with your heart or you're leading with your soul. Well, I hate to break it to you, those aren't other body parts controlling your behavior. It's all happening here in your limbic brain, the part of the brain that controls decision-making and not language. But if you don't know why you do what you do, and people respond to why you do what you do, then how will anybody How will you ever get people to vote for you or buy something from you, or more importantly, be loyal?
Before you begin this journey into leadership, or if you have begun it but never stopped to consider this, then it's time to really think about this. Your why is the center of everything, the foundation of all your future actions and decisions. It is what will fuel you in the future, provide motivation and direction. Ask yourself why you want to lead. Why do you want to take on the challenge of leading a team of people? Being in charge of their performance and development? What inspires you to take this leap instead of staying safe and just being a great solo performer? Once you have answered those questions, you will have your purpose, your reason for becoming a leader. The next step is to think about your values. What is important to you? What are those things that you will never sacrifice, even if it's the surest way to success? In my case, integrity, respect, collaboration, meritocracy, innovation, family, and marriage are some of my core values, and I am clear about maintaining them as I take on the responsibility of becoming a leader. And as I moved up the corporate ladder, they were my non-negotiables, or what I never sacrificed. I learned to find win-win situations when it came to my core values, or when I realized that they conflicted with what I was doing. It was a sign I needed to reevaluate where I was, and sometimes it meant a major change in direction. Once you know your core values, the next step is to find people who share those same values that you do. You will feel it when you meet someone who shares them. There is a connection, an understanding. When you share the same values with someone, you create a strong bond of trust, and there are immense benefits to working with this. In his book, The Speed of Trust, Stephen M.R. Covey shows us how trust and the speed at which it is established with clients, employees, and all stakeholders is the single most critical component of a successful leader and organization. It's a great book, and I recommend that you read it as part of your leadership development. Ultimately, the goal is to work in an organization with people who share your values. I liken working with an organization to a long-term relationship or even a professional marriage. It will work if you share the same values as your partner, which in a professional capacity is your boss, the team, and the organization. I have worked in several organizations, and usually we shared a few values and maybe differed in some. Ultimately, the differences could become a reason for leaving. In my last position as Senior Vice President, it was the first time I had felt that I was working in an organization that shared all my values, and the experience was a career highlight. If my husband had not been reassigned to Calgary, I am sure I would still be working there until my retirement at 60. I have coached many employees who thought at one point that they were working for the wrong institution. By examining their purpose and values, those who realize they share many of the same ones as their organization find renewed energy and motivation to stay and commit in the long term. As a leader, your purpose and your values define who you are. It is the first step in finding the leader you want to be, and creates the start of a roadmap to becoming your authentic leader. People follow your why, and you must know what that is and communicate it to others in the organization. Leadership is challenging, but it is also one of the most fulfilling things you can do as you develop yourself and those who work with you. So the first right turn is find your why, purpose, and values. Before you proceed to the next section, please complete the self-assessment. You may want to write down your answers and keep them along with your notes.